gonna knock this shit right out the park.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Anything Grows. I'm your host, Rick from Uncle Rick's Genetics. And we also have with us...
Who the fuck is Todd? With the Great Green Door. Thank you.
I guess it's False Bottom Swen. Living cannabis. What's up, everybody?
And Hot Rod Wally, Utopic Essential Nutrients, y'all. Hanging out outside. This ain't like Todd's. This is real shit right here.
That's some beautiful weather.
Hey, what do you mean? I'm sitting on the beach.
Sitting on the beach with a UFO that's
keeps popping up in the back. I can't now. It won't
it's
go.
It's a lamp. He has a lamp-shaped UFO.
It won't go now. But
what's going on, Tyrone? For Tenzo, how are you, brother?
Tenzo's back.
The for Tenzo. What's up,
welcome. Yes.
It's hard. You're right.
Don't forget to be kind. Smoke them if you got them.
Yes.
Let's get out the good start.
Right. We can't get highly educated without getting educated.
Highly.
And being high. Right. So.
It's all about frequency.
Today, our topic is electroculture. Electroculture is kind of in a gray area right now. Most people just kind of write it off as a
hocus pocus.
Yeah,
bro science, man.
It's bro science. It's like, conspiracy. I don't know, whatever kind of
hey Blaze
connotation you feel like giving to it. How you doing, Blaze? That's what people do. So, is electroculture something that's factual that we can openly talk about as something that has yielded results and has a procedure and has do's and don'ts? I mean, the answer is yes. It is something real, but can we actually talk about that? The answer is also no. People don't really respect it. Science is just, I guess the way to say it without sounding like an asshole is science is just catching up.
Right.
Which everybody says when.
I think they weren't fast on bringing this on because of where the energy comes from. So,
Bobby, what's up?
If you want to say that that's non-existent, how can it be existent for the gardening application?
Right, and just so we don't get deep into that, I don't want to jump off of this cliff into this rabbit hole. But what Todd's referring to is the basis of electroculture is that it essentially runs on
the ether,
the electromagnetic system that's in place, magnetics being in the soil and electricity being static, abundant in the air. So, if this system works based on that, then it kind of all has to be, something's got to be real. It's
right.
either
That's why they stopped the electroculture with plants. They said it was bro science because too many people were dabbling with getting their energy from the atmosphere, and big oil companies and stuff back in those days put a stop to it because it was about profit. It wasn't about quality. It was all about profit,
Right. And we didn't even know how far it dates back because I've seen some stuff of these old-time farmers, that come up with weird stuff, contraptions for their own agriculture gardening. And, they swear by it. They've done side-by-sides. I've even done it, and I didn't do too much
acre by acre. Yeah.
But you saw a big difference, though, didn't you, in certain
things? I did see a difference, not so much in the yield, but I did see a difference in, I had like zero pests, it was.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, they just stayed away.
So let's just put it on the radar for the folks watching. I personally believe in electroculture, not in the sense of, wearing a tinfoil hat and going nuts. This has been used in Chinese agriculture for a long friggin' time. Like, this is not really a new subject, but this is for
it's
sure
a controversial one.
Yeah,
yes,
and
it's controversial.
And that's why it's kind of hard to describe it. I mean,
without sounding crazy, yeah. So let's just get into the basic bare bones of this. If you were trying to do
crazy,
and without sounding crazy, this is what I said. So the bare bones of this, if you were to wrap some thin wire,
turtles,
copper, preferably.
What's going on, Max Flynn? Welcome.
Turtles.
So if you're gonna do this electroculture, you're gonna take a thin wire and you're gonna run it around in a loop, and you're gonna take it around a loop of something that's not a conductor, and you're gonna have that wood. Essentially, if you wrap it around wood, which is what everybody suggests to do, if you're gonna wrap that around wood, you're then going to stick the wood into the ground, having a small amount of that copper in the ground, and a coil all the way up to, a foot or so taller than the canopy of the plants. The idea behind this is that you're going to take the electromagnetic system and essentially you're going to connect the static air electricity to the rhizosphere and the soil food web, and you're going to amplify this area. And then if you were to...
Tyrone is going off over there.
Yeah, Tyrone's like, shut the fuck up.
He learned this stuff, so it's exciting when you hear other people talking about something that you had an interest in. I mean, when I first met Rick, we started talking about things about growing that I never knew anybody else ever thought of.
Right.
It was pretty awesome.
Max Plan, it will help you to smoke ganja for sure. I don't know about growing it, but the whole electroculture, let's say I want to say the electroculture culture, but the people that wrap themselves around this idea and do this, no pun intended, they see different results than you're used to. Most of the stuff they see results in is outdoors. A lot less people do this inside due to the fact that 85% of the benefits you don't have problems with inside.
Right.
It's just that you don't get the same. You couldn't do electroculture in the house because you don't have a soil ground. It needs to go to the earth.
Right.
So it needs to connect to the earth. Unless you run a plate let's say you're doing it in your basement, you put a plate down of metal. Okay.
You could.
Cut the bottom of your pot out, and then you run a ground cable out from that plate on the ground.
What about your plug?
Possibly, but then you'd have to have one outside to get from the air because it's atmospheric.
Right.
And changing the atmosphere doesn't help that. It's got to be outside where it gets direct.
So if, let's say, you get a big soil from the earth,
yeah,
and you lift it out of the earth, has it already, that chunk of soil is now not connected?
No, I think it has a difference. It has
its own.
Yes, it builds its
own.
That
in that mass.
Right.
So if you have that, whatever your pot size is, you have earth in there. So therefore, you could, on some level, use a smaller system of staking it with some copper wire and possibly get an electrical.
Glenn, you're absolutely correct with that, but I don't know why that's not the case.
So
everything I've read never says anything.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's a really good point. It was easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly what I'm sitting here twisting my tongue about talking. Because when I said that in the basement and not being grounded to the earth, it didn't feel right for me saying that. But that's what I have read.
Sure, yeah. Me too.
What's up, Waylon? How you doing?
Well, you're not grounded unless you're grounded to the earth, period.
Hey, Waylon.
Right, but did you just shift your earth into a smaller atmosphere?
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, dude. That's the thing. Like, Earth is got Earth itself has its own electrical charge.
It has
so if you're going to go and throw an antenna on your roof and then run that inside to your plants and then go and get the natural ground that's in your socket at home. So you have a 3-prong plug with the top 2 prongs that are not there, just the bottom.
Make sure you lick your fingers before you stick those in.
Nice. So you would be able to ground from that. So I mean, could you do that? You could. Now on the other side of this, electroculture doesn't really work on being connected to Mother Nature, Mother Earth itself. What electroculture is the fact that you're taking a microbially dense soil or medium and you're going to stimulate that microbiome with small doses of electricity that are going to increase their productivity and overall increase your output of your plant.
Yes.
So you don't really need like an earth ground in there,
right,
per se. And whether you are inside 4 closed walls or you're outside, there's static charge in the air. So essentially the microbes that we're talking about are microscopic, and the amount of electricity we need is almost not measurable.
Right.
You know, so
well, how do we compare this to like microwavable? You know, like the microwave just does these so tiny little impulses that creates the heat. Is it kind of like that? I mean, like.
Well, microwave is different.
Microwave
it's different than in atmosphere.
The same stimulation is what I'm talking about, though?
No, microwave.
Yes.
A microwave shakes water molecules until the friction heats stuff up. That's why you put something dry in the microwave, it doesn't really work.
Right.
So that's how that works, and it's a certain frequency that vibrates water. But with this is like you're talking about having electricity go from somewhere and have an electro coupler, something that can house and hold electricity, which would be the copper, and then having that have a direction to go and be absorbed somewhere else. Now, where it's being absorbed, the microbiome runs off of electricity. You know, so you essentially are going to be stimulating them by giving them more electricity. This is like, you know, my wife grounded me back in the day.
Look at that, Ro.
Did you grow better?
Hell no, she was pissed at him.
No, but like, you know, that's the whole point here. Like, you know, you're talking about microbiology that from a standpoint of what plants can do, right? So plants can affix nitrogen right out of the air. So if something can pull nitrogen out of the fucking air and sequester it into this root zone to give it to a plant, why can't we get small trace amounts of electricity out of the air and into the root zone where these microbes live?
Well, absolutely. And that energy that's going into that, you know, beneficial soil, it stimulates the microorganisms and then in turn releases more nutrients for the plant.
Right. So breaking that down a little bit more, right? So you have this microscopic film biome. This is how much water content is in the moisture content, the actual water that's in the medium. And that's what all these bacteria are going to move around in. And essentially that gives them the ability to create this highway. Did we say hi to Stephanie? What's going on, Stephanie? I don't know if I said hi or not.
Hey, what's up? Good evening.
Hey, everybody. Hello.
But like, you know, if you're considering that these small boosts in microbials make big things happen on the cannabis side, like the cannabis output side, and then you take that same system that already is working, and it works on a certain level of charge that's already there,
right?
And then you add charge to it. You know what I mean? It's kind of a no-brainer. And people have done this for a long time. Like I said, if you look up there's like an old Chinese method where you have like a battery hooked to the same system.
I got to turn this off. I'm sorry. I was trying to tag Jamie. I don't think anyone got the tag out to her.
I tagged her.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Well, yeah, but you have this system goes back a really long time, and like I said, you have people that implement batteries into this to even up that charge some more. I don't know if there's really a level of electrocuting the soil, like
Yeah, no, I think it's the amount of. They say it has to do with the volts, and it doesn't need much. It needs just enough to kick the frequency.
Yeah, once a week, just clear.
Well, they leave it in all the time. Yeah, that's right. What you can shock them, but it's
How you doing, Butter?
It's basically a vibration. And what's a vibration made up of?
Frequency. What's going on, Mark?
You know,
frequency.
There's different. Well, listen, with electricity, frequency there's a lot to do with frequency and hertz is the way the electricity is just delivered. But this is a charge, and when you have positively charged ions in the soil, and you have a higher rate of moisture, the soil is going to dry out a lot less when it has electricity in it, and that has to do with water. When it has a higher charge, when water has a higher charge, it structures a different way, so it'll actually retain itself. So it's kind of weird in the sense when you think about why this is so beneficial. Well, the water being there and the electricity being upped actually creates a beneficial environment for microbes and a non-beneficial environment for pathogens, molds, mildews, and other.
So it's a bifecta.
Negative bacteria. Huh?
Yeah. It's a trifecta. It makes your plant stronger, so it has better health, increased nutrient uptake, vigorous growth. What more could you ask for?
Waylon, hey, why is your lawn glowing? Electroculture.
Come play on the slip and slide.
You a defibrillator, and once a week, just hit it with 360 joules. That's all you need.
What I really want to put across, though, and this kind of goes on to what Rod was saying, I just don't want people to misconceptualize like this idea. So what you're getting at here is realistically the idea that you're going to be, you're not boosting the plant, like No. When you consider the human body, right? We're electrical.
Yep.
Like we're electrical beings. So electrical stimulation in certain ways is very beneficial to us. But it's not like, oh man, I got
pleasurable.
I'm zapped and now I've got energy. Every time I get zapped, I've got so much more energy for like 5 days. It's not really how it works. It benefits us in an indirect way that benefits us overall, right? So this is kind of, Rachel, how you doing? This is kind of like that. You have the Rachel. Beneficial.
What's up, girl?
You have the beneficial boost in an indirect way. You're going to have this push bee into the soil food web. That food web is what's really important. You have that boosting going on there. So when we talk about the plants getting the most out of them, microbes and microbial life and mycorrhiza, that's going to do the most for the plant. And then if you supercharge that stuff with electricity, it's going to do even more.
Yeah, the plant's not going to take up too much of it.
Supercharge it. Blow all the leaves off in one shot.
Yeah,
that's what I do, Mark.
Like a heavy sneeze, You're
talking to a man that beats up on his plants over there. Yep, there he is. Madman Rod.
Peter, that's more of electromagnetic interference or electromagnetic frequency.
But here's that sweet spot we haven't talked about yet, or you touched on it, is that if all things be said is true, and it does have these benefits, then it's going to benefit the plant in such a way that the the nutrients that are the toughest to get up the plant.
Right.
The micronutrients, the irons and the borons and a little bit of tiny chlorine and all those little things. If it helps you find that sweet spot better in your nutritional food, and it gets more of that up there easier for you, it's going to create a better plant. I don't care what anybody says.
Right. Joe be growing. Sheena, what's going on? Welcome. The instant defol, right? 300 volts, instant defoliation. But you know what I like I said, what I really want to drive home is that you're boosting the microbial productivity, and you're gonna be improving their ability to do their job, especially if they're converting non bioavailable plant nutrients into plant available nutrients. So like these plants can uptake at a greater rate because the microbes are doing more of their job. The microbes also assist in a lot of uptake of weird shit like you're talking about that the plant usually will have only trace amounts. Right. Yeah. Gets trace amounts of it. So you're talking about every need being met times 2 now. So yeah, this is a great way to boost something that's already doing a lot. You guys looked into plasma research.
I've seen it and I've read a little bit about it, Joe, and it basically deals on the frequency again, but plasma being a higher frequency than what we're talking about. We're going very rudimentary.
Well, let's bring Tyrone in. He knows all about this.
Tyrone will tell you. Yeah, he knows something about
Bring it. Let's hear you, buddy.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe.
But yeah, so on the side of, is this like, a real thing? That's kind of up to you. It's up to you to believe it or not. Try it. Try it for yourself before you go into understanding whether this is real or not. So just an idea, so you could get this going at home. You want a stick of wood, some thin copper wire, wrap that around there clockwise or counterclockwise. We're going to talk about that shortly. And this is going to improve oxygen, nutrient and flow and water retention in your soil. You're going to want to leave the top of your coil slightly larger than your plant, so you probably want to have a few different sizes of these as it goes on. And the ion intake into the soil is going to help monitor pH and balance the bacteria, the environment for the bacteria, boost mycorrhiza and other microbial networks. So,
on reading everybody's comments.
You have that as that's your general idea here. Does it work better outside? I think so. I think it's more conducive outside, considering the fact that outside you have a shitload of microbial bacteria that's already there. You have a lot of stuff going on. Joe, thank you for the stars. Much love.
I do want to read something that I just was looking at of confounding factors, and any observed differences in plant growth between electroculture and controlled beds are often to other factors such as differences in watering, soil quality, companion planting, rather than the electroculture antenna themselves.
Okay.
So instead of using the antenna themselves, if you're going to use companion planting, the type of soil that you got, your differences in watering, you can create your own atmospheric energy.
Right. Yeah, I believe that. I mean,
in the antenna itself.
Inside the house, yes. You're doing exactly that, right?
Yeah, controlled beds.
And I think the humidity would also be a factor because you have this electric frequency in the air. Mm-hmm. The more humidity is involved, and whenever there's a thunderstorm, do you ever go outside and smell that fresh air?
Oh, yeah.
The nitrogen release, which is positive ions in the air.
It's negative ions.
It's like a
Negative.
thunderstorm, that smell. It's so good.
Yeah, it's actually negative ions. So you actually it puts you to sleep too, which is crazy. Yeah, you say it.
What's the
You
topic?
say it every time
Electroculture, sweetie.
because it goes up,
Take
so
a
you
look.
just think it's positive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
you could. I mean, you smell the difference.
Jamie, we're welcome. We're doing electroculture.
Good evening.
And you have the atmosphere enclosed that restricts. Right. So that was going to be the next part that I get into. Let's say you can get even more in depth with it, though. Some people run copper underground, connect end.
Yeah, that's what I did.
End spiral antenna. Zinc
done that before, Swen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
That's
so
exactly what
Watch out for this Rachel chick. I'm telling you, she's going to start smoking us. You watch and see.
Putting a zinc bolt at the top is a good thing to do. What you're doing there is you're creating that network that's actually larger than the plant system itself. Like, so you're going to go 8 feet tall with something like that. And the reason you're going to go in the ground is you're going to keep bugs from crossing over that barrier in the ground as well. But what happens is essentially when you do this big ring, you get this dome, electromagnetic dome. It's really not anything crazy. It's just that it's like disrupting regular airspace.
Right.
Yeah, companion planting is awesome. So even adding this to the companion planting,
you're right.
Companion plants get even bigger. It's kind of crazy.
Doesn't an autopot come with like a copper metal in the base?
Yeah, it comes with a copper sheet, but that's to kill bacteria in the water contact where the roots are.
Yeah,
so that's different. That's a different frequency in copper.
But can you structure water once it comes in the pot? Structure the water with that, and then just by putting an antenna on the autopot, you think that would work?
I have no idea. I haven't tried to do this with anything, honestly, inside. But
I'm thinking
when you do this outside, that electromagnetic curtain that gets put up is what we were talking about last week. And that curtain is essentially like, if you see how bugs fly, they fly with like a sonar based, kind of trying to see what's going on. Electrical fields really fuck them up, so they can't really fly. So when they get to a field like this, they kind of just stay away. Secondarily to that, it's like running into a wall. So you're going to be looking. You're going to be seeing like a bunch of these soft bodies not be able to get through this invisible shield. Then next you have pollinators and birds and shit like that. They already fly with electromagnetism, and it's kind of like already what they do. One of the things that Swen was saying is when he tried doing this, he had slugs that he couldn't keep away, and I would imagine that's because there was nothing else there. But I actually was reading up on the slugs, and some slugs are stimulated by low voltage electricity and things like that, so they actually go towards it.
Wow.
For the most part, Rachel, it is. And it's experimental for 150 years.
But I had zero pests. I did have very excellent growth. I wasn't too impressed, like I said, with the yield, because I didn't really know the difference until later. But it was just it was good.
It didn't cost you much, and it
was super cheap. I just got a spool of copper and ran it through all my beds.
Right. So
aluminum antenna, zinc bolt on one.
All you can get is a neighbor laughing at you, if they even know what it is. But hey, man, it's no sweat off anybody's brow to just do that and see if it works.
Rachel, that's what we were just talking about. As far as needing the earth, I don't think you do. I think what you need is microbiology. I think that's really what this is all about. But to keep slugs out, you just use like a copper wire, and if they were to cross over that, they're definitely going to go the other way.
Oh, Sheena's saying she's going to try it next year.
There you go. Give it a shot.
Good stuff. Yeah, let us know how it works out for you. But you know, like I've seen people get absolutely ridiculous, like 6-pound tomato on a garden that had electroculture set up.
Wow.
Well,
yeah, I mean, do you remember back in the day they had those big pumpkins that were huge?
Right.
And they would have the contest. I mean, the things were ginormous. You don't see those growing today because we lost the knowledge of certain things, I believe. And one of them is electric culture, I think.
Well,
electric cultivation. It's not really culture.
Yeah,
let's think about this. If the benefits of this are increased nutrient absorption, enhances your photosynthesis, creating bigger biomass and bigger yields. If it is stronger root system with more roots, improved overall health, and increased resistance to stress, is it not worth looking at?
Right.
It gives you all those benefits, maybe.
For sure, dude.
That's what this conversation's all about, you know?
Absolutely.
It's definitely food for thought.
You know,
it's definitely food for thought.
It's one of the cheapest experiments you can do. And if you feel like experimenting with your grows, which I do almost every time I do something different, you know,
I'm always changing up.
I want to keep it exciting. You know, I want to see the change. I like to put down. I have a little book outside my tent usually, and I keep down what I've done and what I see on the the date in the book. I put the date down, so like a log on each one of my grows to see if it was positive or a negative thing that I did. I mean, I know I could see it negative and positively, but it looks like a tombstone just popped up in my water. You see that? But anyway, yeah, I would keep a track of it. And, you know, I did that for quite a few years. And somehow, in the move, when I was younger, I lost them. You know how many hours I put into those books? Oh, my God. And, yeah. But that's what I would do. Just, hey, I like the fact that we're able to explore. That's what differentiates us between animals and humans. You know, critical thinking. You know, all that stuff.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is really gonna be what's going on, Clips Cutting. How you doing? One of the things that's really going to be the deciding factor, where I think really where the village divides here, is going to be at, like, you can't do it inside, you can do it. I'm going to be honest. I think you absolutely could do this inside. And not to mention, there's like 85 different ways to do it inside. You don't just have to get a little piece of copper and stick it out of your plant. And if you're going to do that on an indoor pot, remember, the idea is to have the copper be taller than the wood, and the wood be about a foot bigger than the plant. So you're going to have a 4-foot plant. You're going to have a 5 to 5.5 foot piece of wood sticking out of your pot a few inches away from the stem. Is that feasible? I don't know. But if you get that done, if you take a piece of wood that's already attached to the tent, you know, and it's already there, and you got to like swing it over and stick it in the pot and then put the pot in the tent, and that thing's just permanent in there.
Yeah.
Whatever. But that's all apparently that you would have to do and have bacteria to accept this charge from the environment.
Right.
If there's electricity outside in the air, then it's inside in the air. It would be as potent. It'd be as potent and, you know, as polluting as oxygen would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's even CO2.
Right. You go outside and do this. You didn't just capture electricity. It's just you just like it's there.
It's there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're not containing it. You know?
No.
Right. You're like, I'm gonna bring this home.
Yeah.
Electric's expensive. Thanks for the share, Joe. Much love.
That's not electric. That's what do they call lightning bug?
Right. They have an abundance, right? Or do they get it from somewhere? Right. Electroculture, like I said, where people are the village is going to divide is where people are going to say you can't do it inside because you need a true earth ground. You need to be connected to earth.
But you are connected to earth.
I don't think you need to be connected to anything. I think that soil will hold a charge. It will accept a charge. And if microbial life is present, it will supercharge the microbial life. Period. That's it. I bet you if we look where lightning strikes directly on the ground, I bet you 6 months from then there's like a vegetative boom that wasn't there last year.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I bet you there is.
Well, not maybe the direct spot, but all around it.
All around it. Yeah. That's what I mean.
It kills. I guess it depends on how strong the voltage is, how far out it kills. It kills the mycorrhiza right around a tree, fries all that stuff.
How do you know the mycorrhiza dies?
I don't know if it dies. I says it frazzles it. It's got to frazzle it.
I don't think so. You'd be surprised, man. But if you put microbes into like the oven, not all of them die until you get to some stupidly high heats. Think about that one.
Yeah. Well, I am
smoking if you got them.
Oh, we're smoking again.
Take your dang shoes off. Walk barefoot in the grass sometimes. Not just good for your plants.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
100%. Joe, 100%.
Grounding mat.
Oh, yeah. Grounding.
I have a grounding mat, yeah. And I plug it right into the third eye on the outlet.
Have you tested it to see if it's actually working?
Yeah.
Do you have a house ground?
For it.
Do you have an actual ground wire on your outlet that runs all the way back to a ground rod?
10-foot rod.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
nice.
Rod.
I wish I had a 10-foot rod.
Yeah, me too.
As Rod disappears.
That timing was perfect. Where'd Rod go?
Yeah, Rod's gone.
Rod's gone.
But yeah, dude.
10-foot rod. Rod. There we go. Oh.
The big thing here is like I said, you're going for a gray area conspiracy. So I love this term. Science is catching up. That means, hey, it's not bullshit, but someone just had to put their name on it and make money out of it.
Right.
And when they do, it'll be the same fucking process with some stupid device that they patent that does nothing that you can understand or anything really, and it just does the same shit we all been talking about for years.
You can go to fucking Walmart and buy a 6-pack of their little coil rods. They come in a pack. They're about 8 inches long. Little stake in your plant, and they're just telling people to boop, 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 put it in your little house plant. Keep it alive.
Right. Right, and it reduces the amount of fertilizer needed. It reduces the amount of watering that you would need. Right. And it depends on the size of the plant, though, Swen. If you got like a 6 or 10 inch tall one, you got like a little herbs or a little succulent, that thing's never going to need anything if this works. Let's just say that. Because if this works, then a number of other things, the doors fly right open and blow off the hinges. I
want you to know the other things, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's the craziest part about something like electroculture. There are many sectors of electroculture, like attracting pollinators with certain types of electroculture systems. Running it in the ground, having it to raise bed, and having the plants themselves all connected to each other.
Right.
There's a real like I said, I don't want to use that again. It seems like a pun. There's a real culture to this that seems like it was hidden, like Todd was saying, because there are elaborate diagrams of easy ways to do this using like a basket, some wire, a couple staples. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, if it's that simple and laid out, then it's been done so many times that someone simplified it for, like, you know, people do for free.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Joe, absolutely. Yeah,
right.
I mean, just to pique your interest, you know. We're not telling you to go do this unless you want to. It's an experiment to try, maybe.
And that's how I got turned on to it. A couple of years ago, there was this guy I was talking with online, and I had this little runt plant, and it just was not doing anything. And he was telling me, he said, "Oh man, just get a little fucking piece of bamboo and wrap a fucking coil around it and stick it in the dirt and fucking have an antenna coming up." And, he probably sounded like that. I don't know. He was typing. But anyhow, I put it in there, and whether I was tripping or not, I would say within 5 days, man, it was like started growing. It was nice and green, and just I was like, wow, kind of just tripping on it. And it turned out to be a really nice plant. I just let it in there.
Cool, man.
It was not needed no more, and just pulled it out.
That was before.
But again, maybe it was just what I was doing to make the plant do what it needed to do. I was feeding it what it needed to, and I just so happened to have that coil rod in there. Did it work? Maybe.
Did it regulate your pH and force microbial nutrient uptake?
Yeah, everything was great, man. I had vigorous growth. I had nutrient uptake.
Yeah, maybe it just did just that. You know, it was.
I'm hearing Sven gave a plant a free pass. That doesn't happen over at Swen's.
No, man. Usually mutants or runts or gone.
But now you're going out.
You don't show, you go.
Yep, and rich genetics laying flat on a thing of soil. The size
get the bat.
Living.
You get the bat.
It's the Franken plant.
That is a wild stem you got there, pal. It's like a literal hammer handle.
That's awesome.
Well, it's like a fucking baseball bat.
I know the length is definitely baseball bat-esque, but
the size no.
The size is like literally the bottom of like a framing hammer, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at it. Yeah, it's got a big.
It looks like, you know, you would mount a sledgehammer on that when you're looking at it straight on. It looks like that should be the center of a sledgehammer. You know, the head where you drive the fucking thing.
Looks like a maul.
Yeah, dude. Seriously. And
hitting edge.
I was also talking to someone about this last week. I have never chopped a plant and had this humongo fucking hollow straw stem. I've always had super thick, like that.
Like
right.
I mean, it almost looks like you can see the rings on it for its life.
It grows like a wood. Yeah, it's very fibrous.
So no inner lumen.
Right, no.
Yeah, you can't make a pipe out of it by snapping it.
Tyrone, to answer your question, does granite have any kind of charge or value to that? There's certain types of granite that have levels of like 80% quartz, and quartz, if put under pressure, can distribute electrical charge. It's called piezoelectric. It's how they get your clocks and your wristwatch to work. They take a small piece of quartz and then they put it under an immense amount of pressure, and with a battery to supplement charge to it, it stays going for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another thing too, what's cool with crystals, like a copper tubing, and glue a quartz on the bottom, fill it up with salt water, and then glue a fucking amethyst on the top, and you'll have yourself a little flashlight.
Really?
There you go.
Well, it'll illuminate the hue of the purple from the amethyst.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
that's really
all cool. That ions from the salt water.
And quartz also records. It's also a great recorder recording or on the computer. They use it. The supercomputers are using quartz now.
Oh, is that right?
Right. Quartz can hold like tons of data.
Tons of data.
Yeah. They say it can hold
a 1 inch by 1 inch. They said, I don't know how many things they had on it, but it was crazy. I saw it on 60 Minutes not long ago.
Yeah, it said they say you can hold all the world's information in like a little small like baseball size of quartz.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Which is insane. So it's going to be replacing hard drives.
I'll tell you what, man. You want to talk about electricity? Let's go to the fucking Hot Rod's Hot Minute. And we'll talk about electricity.
Well, I hope you're still
and
queued
the importance of it.
In a world fraught with confusion, one man will break his silence.
That's awesome. So, electricity, important or not, they say that the human and the plant are much alike. So let's delve into that when it comes to electricity. So I'm laying there next to my wife one day. I'm laying in bed. She's sitting Indian style. And the next thing you know, she's off the bed, smashes into stuff. And I go over and I find her absolutely fucking dead. Gone. Purple. Dead. Start CPR. Go to the hospital. I was going to find her dead on arrival. Somehow they saved her. A big, long story. What we found was her electric just shut off. It wasn't heart disease. It wasn't anything, outside of the fact that her electrical circulation in her body just shut the fuck off.
Oh, fuck.
So how do you plan for that, first off? But secondly, look how important electricity is. Like that current that keeps your heart beating, that current that keeps your mind processing. It's amazing. Tell me it don't help plants somehow, a little bit. And if it helps you 10%, go for it. The electric inside a plant, the electric inside a human, most important of all. And guess what? She's here today because they gave her back her electric. Anyway, there you go.
In a world fraught with confusion, one man will break his silence.
There we go.
Thanks, Rod. That was awesome.
It's a true story, I swear it.
When did this even go down? Is this recent?
Is
this recent? Is this recent?
Oh, it was 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, dude, she was 6 days with no electrical anything, man. They froze her for 24 hours, defrosted her for 24 hours. In the height of COVID, June of 2020, people were dying all around us of COVID. My wife's on a ventilator trying to save her fucking life, man.
Oh,
and fuck, I can tell you guys the whole story. It's fucking incredible. But it all dealt with electricity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And what's up? C Rorgan. What's going on, man?
Corgran.
CR Organ. So welcome. So, they say that your heart actually pumps blood, and in the way that it pumps, like the whole like rhythm of it is actually creating a vortex with your blood, which actually they say is putting a charge into the whole system. So if your heart stops, that's the electricity completely stops too. And
well, they said that her electricity stopped, which caused the heart to stop.
Right.
Well, that's in what I've read, that would be the other way around.
Right.
It's like the generator shut off, so the generator lost electricity, so it shut off. It's like
so
it has to be on.
Make it to the heart. Yeah.
It's like it has to be on to be there. It can't be there with it off. So it's like,
Right.
But yeah, they say the heart is actually
oxygen. I don't think it's a lack of oxygen. I think it's the fact that it hasn't gotten a charge. The brain.
Well, I did at least 20 minutes of way faster CPR than I should have. And she went, I had to go 3 days without seeing her. Then for the next 6 days, she didn't respond to any stimulus at all.
Oh my
And
Lord.
and then they said, well, we'll give her one more day. And if that don't work, then we'll have to make other decisions. Her mom and dad, her son, me, were all there 5 years ago, height of COVID. I was getting ready to pull the plug on my old lady, man.
That's crazy.
And what happened was they got her electric back.
Yeah, cool.
That's crazy, man. I actually got a story about
and
that.
They hit her 10 times with the paddles, 5 times at the house, 5 times in the ambulance.
Wow.
I was going to
crazy,
witness
dude.
her body when I got to the hospital, and they got her alive on the 10th paddle.
Holy shoot.
That's crazy.
A miracle.
Glad they
And then
didn't
they have
stop
no
trying.
mental fuck ups because of it. A little bit on math,
Yeah. Yeah, we all
But-
had that problem.
Look at how important electrical is for a human. And if
Absolutely.
we're like plants, doesn't that mean plants need some sort of electrical grounding impulse, whatever the fuck you call it?
Of course, definitely the atmospheric energy for sure.
Absolutely, man.
I got a story for you. All right, buddy. I got a story for you that's about the other side of that. My friend's dad got struck by lightning 2 separate times.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but directly struck by lightning while he was working both times. So one of the things that my friend told me is he's like, oh man, my dad's going to get a root canal today. And I was like, oh yeah, that sucks, dude. He's like, yeah, but it sucks even more for him. And I'm like, oh, why? He's like, well, if you get struck by lightning, it's like a really high chance that anesthetics and other type of numbings or being put under, none of that shit works on you. And he was like, and I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, dude. And the first time he got struck, it kind of didn't work, but then after he got struck again, it really didn't work. I'm like, so he has to just have tooth surgery with all the pain? He's like, yeah, dude, there's nothing they could do for him. It doesn't matter how much they give him. He's all his nerves.
Imagine how that messed with the electrical inside his chest, bro.
Yeah, it burned all his nerve endings. So all his nerve endings are shot.
So crazy.
And people.
And he had lightning. He has lightning scar on him, like these faint blue lines that kind of are still there. But when he got struck, he said it was like all red, fucking super red, and it looks like a tree, which is even crazier. But
they say
that shit smacks people.
Lightning. Do it in multiples. Like you're saying, your friend's father got struck twice. It was
Ow! I don't even understand that.
Yeah.
So my wife came back with this lust
more than once.
Agreed,
The
Krogan.
odds are that people will get struck more than once if you've been struck already.
Huh.
There's been people like this old man on I forget what show it was, but he was struck 14 times in his life.
He never won the lottery. That's bullshit, man.
Can't win the lottery, but he got struck by lightning. He's like 84 years old.
We had a joke like that about my brother's friend's truck. Every panel was dented on this fucking truck. Like everything. The headlights, taillights were cracked. Everything was fucked up. Like in one way or another. And he pulled in the one day, and he had just got new rims and tires, so I thought the truck looked real nice and all that. And he pulls in, and he's got the music blaring, and he shuts it off, and my brother goes, hey, man, looks like you hit everything but the fucking lottery in that. I laughed so fucking hard, man. Never heard that. Yeah, I never heard it before then. So I was like,
classic. What timing?
I hit everything but the fucking lottery, huh? He was like, fuck you, man.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, Daryl? Did you give Rod?
I'll be right back.
All right, but did you give Rod an auto and tell him it was a photo?
Yeah, fucking Daryl.
Because it's huge, and it looks like one of your massive autos, bro. Same reason I can't taste or smell this electrical connection in my brain anymore. Well, maybe you need to get struck by lightning, Peter. I don't
No,
know.
it sounds like a big mushroom dose.
You can just get electroshock therapy once or twice, and that might help.
He needs one of those macro doses. Send him to
needs-
a new plane.
Yeah, exactly. Mushroom.
Listen, dude. Listen, there's more to electrotherapy than electroculture, but I think that everything that is alive is using, stimulated, living off of, influenced by, or helped in some way by electricity, positive ions, and water in every situation. And if the magic fucking recipe here is that it's going to positively charge the soil and the water, then I don't know, man. That's just, in my book, it seems like it's logically it's got to work, right?
It structures the water, and
It makes sense. It makes sense to me.
Right, electricity does structure water 100%.
Right. So I think that can only benefit the plants because it will go up. It's not in a haphazard form. It's going up in one direction. So it's a plus in my book with that. Anyway, it's supposed to be good for us as well.
I can't dispute it, man, and it doesn't seem like it's something that doesn't fit into the rest of fabric of reality. It only makes more sense the more that you dive down the hole,
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
even on the surface, it's pretty freaking sound,
Yeah.
So is it worth trying? Is the final question? I think it is. I think it's cheap enough that anybody could go get a little roll of copper wire, get a stick, and take about 10 minutes, and take a picture of your plant for a day or 2 days or 3 beforehand.
Right.
Put it in there, and then take it for a few more and see if you see any massive changes.
You know what I just realized? When you were saying wind it around those 2 sticks, if you look at an electric motor, it's wound.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then you have magnets of opposite poles, and then the electricity kickstarts it. But I would imagine that's the same way you can, a generator creates electricity by positioning the magnets a different way.
Right.
I'm just thinking out loud, I guess, now, because everything it just all comes full circle when you think of it.
So an alternator uses magnets and electromagnetic charge,
right?
And then it needs a battery, or it's going to just work only while it's in motion. And then if that's the case, you either need a organic biological power to turn it, or you need some other source of energy, which would be fuel, engines. And this is why people that go and debunk everything, right, is with 0-point electricity, is they use an alternator. So if you can make an alternator run,
energy going.
Right, if you can make an alternator just run, and you're not spending energy to convert into energy, and it could run itself essentially. This is why you have people that have all these videos that are supposedly fake about 0-point energy systems, stuff like that. This is where you get into electrolysis and understanding electrolysis, and that you can have fuel from water if you use electricity. And then vice versa. So you use electricity on water to get fuel that you burn for electricity. See, so you see the loop, right? And this is why I think this stuff is a closed book. Shelf it, lock the library, build another building over it, knock it down, put a hill on it, and then it's like, yeah, that's that big hill. It's always been there. And then underneath all that locked away is hey, it's super simple.
Right.
So there's a lot of weird shit that you could do with alcohol, being a proponent for an engine for electricity. How you doing, Rick? Consider the fact that if you're a shitty gardener you might be great at making fucking fuel because all rotting vegetables turn into alcohol, and you can make them turn into alcohol. You do that with vegetables, you do that with fruit, you could do that with either or, and you could do it with alcohol. It burns very, very hot, very clean. So
I just got done making some blackberry moonshine.
Nice. But you could power something like this with thrown away garden scraps,
Right. Yep. Potatoes,
Joe,
corn.
Stoned and geeked out. My friends are gonna hate listening to me tonight.
Tell them to come in to hear it, and then you ain't gotta take the rap, bro. We'll take the rap for you.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad we got you thinking though, because
electrical is so important.
You've said it too much. You've said too much. You're gonna disappear now. I mean, listen, man. If saying too much is being obviously, blatantly like
enough,
not an idiot, then we're all fucking doomed. Because if I said it and you're pointing it out, you know it too. Your target's on your back, brother.
Sure.
Now they know
Tyrone is to come out and be a guest host.
Yeah, he's going to be another target. Listen, man, the truth's hard to suppress. At a certain point, if I tell you that the sky is green and it's actually red, eventually you're going to find out. And eventually you're going to read all these articles of really, really, really smart people that like only go out and do shit based on the color red. And they're going to be like, sky is something I'd never researched because it's blue. And your whole fucking world's going to fall apart because of this guy who's like the smartest in the world.
And why is it blue?
I technically I don't have a belief on that. There's too many.
What do you think they're saying is the reason why this guy?
I don't know who they are. Number one, and they say it's a reflection of the beautiful ocean behind Todd there.
Right, but then why aren't these giant shadows of where the mountains are that are vast amounts of mountains?
I don't know.
You have gray spaces.
I don't know, dude. It's like taking a diode on an LED.
It's a whole other topic, man.
It's like taking a diode on an LED light and just poking one of them out. Like if you zoom in to the diode, it's going to be like a dark, abysmal fucking wasteland of nothing. It's all dim, and then you're going to zoom out and see like everything around it's great. And then you're going to zoom so far out that you don't even fucking know the light's out.
That's true.
So I mean, when I consider something, it's hard to disprove because I jump on both sides,
right.
And there's a lot of evidence to support everything that we've been told. There's a lot of evidence to support the people that don't believe everything we've been told. There's a lot of evidence to support that. Let's just put it this way. No controversial topic. Let's just say that there's a lot of people that say that farming with fucking synthetic agriculture will kill your crops in 5 years or less. Proven it. They fucking have plastered it up, gotten companies sued to the point they have to close their doors. And guess what the number one way to do agriculture is? It's called conventional. Since when does the oldest fucking way, which is organic, become non-conventional to some new practice that nobody fucking should do?
Right.
Okay, so explain that away to me, because they know that synthetics ruin the soil, they've ruined microbiomes, they've ruined the mycorrhiza, they've ruined the uptake of the plant, they've ruined the fucking ecosystem, water, everything. It fucks everything up. Why is it the number one? And how did organic, which is just Earth being Earth, come from being the original, not the organic, the only, to being non-conventional? And then when we take that a step further, why are they trying to say that if you grow organically, that you should be paying a tax in the future for your global warming contribution with greenhouse gases from organic farming? Okay, excuse the fuck out of me. But if we stopped farming, you're saying the plants are going to take the environment away from us? That doesn't even make sense. So if we leave shit the way it is, and there's more organic farming than none of the other, we don't farm at all. All the plants and everything that's growing from shit dying and falling over and hurricanes and natural disasters, blah, 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 the ecosystem being the way it is, that's organic farming.
Right.
If you're going to listen
I don't
to
get
every person out there, Miami would have been underwater 20 years ago.
California is not even supposed to be connected to the United States with the 2025, right? Weren't they supposed to break off in like 2012?
Right.
And fucking be
California?
Yeah, dude.
Beachfront property in Arizona.
Hey, Sweat, movies, hurry.
I don't know, man.
California.
What do you really want? What do you really want? Do you want to believe shit, or you want to grow some fucking bomb ass plants? Because we're trying to find the medium there to understand. And it starts to cross. Oh, I saw it starts to cross lines into shit that's like magic. So hey, you want to grow that magic plant out, that fucking giggle bush? You know what's better for that giggle bush? Wrap a weird piece of fucking copper around a stick and shove it in the ground, and that's gonna magically make it bigger. And literally, bro, I would laugh at anyone that was just walking by and said that to me. I would literally laugh. I'd be like, bro, what the fuck? No.
we did it last year. My buddies outgrow just a couple of plants. We stuck copper right through the pot and everything. They fucking died, bro. My newts couldn't even help them, bro. It was dead.
Kill the roots. I mean, I get shit like that, but like if you had it all set up already, like if you went to the lengths, and this is something that I would do, I would take copper and I would make like a burner, like for a stove, and I'd put that into the bottom of the pot. Then I'd fill the pot, and then I'd run a lead out of that, and that's what I would do. I'd connect all my pots to that, run that to a ground, and ground the pots if I'm worried about grounding the pots.
Right.
You know, what is that going to take? 20 minutes to make each one of those loops?
Yep.
Right.
You know, it's not a crazy thing.
No,
it's not a crazy thing to do, but you know, how far are you willing to take it to dedicate to doing it before you write it off? That's the real key.
Well, there's some people doing it on YouTube, like little gardens.
Of course, there's people doing big shit. There's people doing
all the time, though.
People doing crazy shit on YouTube, bro, to the point where it gets taken down. But you know, like one of the biggest and the most prominent things you should take away from this is do your own research.
Yep.
Oh,
don't take my word. Don't take Todd's or Swen's or Hot Rod's word for it. Go do your own research. You know.
I have to.
Yep. Same here.
Absolutely. That's where I learn everything.
And I'd like to shout out to Cheetah, bro. This is the most super boof tasting super boof cartridge disposable. What? Yo, this is super boof throwaway.
Nice.
And
crossed with nothing. And it's just like the original cut.
Super
like
boof.
Tastes just like it, you know?
What are its notes that make it taste so specific to that plant?
Honestly, dude, it's not an immediate. It's like an after effect. Right. Yeah, dude. Some guy handed me a half ounce of bud to smell, and I smelled it, and I was like, and the third time, I'm like, bro, why does this smell like super boof? And he's like, no way. And I'm like, what? And he digs down to the bottom, and there's like a nug this big, and he pulls out. He's like, this is super boof. And he hands it me, and I was like, yes, this is it, dude. That's all I smelled out of the whole bag. And he's like, dude, you're like a fucking drug dog for super boof.
Fucking, you're the pig that finds the truffle.
I hope he shared it with you, dude.
The truffle pig.
So he gave me a card and said, oh, I'll get you a clone, and then never answered.
Oh my God, Super Boof Truffle Pig. That's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, dude, Super Boof has such a specific nose for the right pheno, you know, and then like it has such a distinct taste. I can tell on the initial a little bit of citrus, but it's that it has the specific pheno that like I really love. Honestly, it kind of tastes like the aftertaste of like a really good beef jerky.
Mm.
Weird.
Really?
Weird that it's like, yeah, dude. And I've had people try it, and they try it, and they're like, wow, this tastes so different, and this and that. And then I'm like, hey, does it taste kind of like beef jerky? And they're like, yeah, like at the end, because it's like oddly sweet but peppery. So it's weird.
Oh, wow.
So it's weird. It's kind of got like a meaty aftertaste. Sir. Oh man, look at that fucking thing. You could smoke that, throw it out the window. It's coming right back fucking in.
Is that a caterpillar?
That's right.
A boomerang. That's the only joint you can't throw out the window if the cops are tailing you, because that shit's coming right back in the front window.
Coming right back. Yep. Hit you right in the
right back in the mouth. Bam, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you for joining us in the Electroculture Talk.
Absolutely.
Y'all, but it's been fun.
Always
have a good night, Joe.
Good night, everybody.
Always have an open mind.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by. And remember, you guys are the true winners. We're going to do one more Smoke 'em if you got 'em for the ride out here. So, like I said, thank you for stopping by.
Have a great week, everybody.
Cut it out, Sweat.
When you do whatever you want, pal. But yeah, everybody keep your minds lifted and always cultivate greatness. We'll be back on Friday for the roundtable review. Make sure that you post your plants on the Monday Show Your Grow post. You can post your plants Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, just not right before the show. But we'll catch you there Friday at 7:30 Eastern Standard. Much love, buddy.
Peace out, you guys.
Finger guns.